What's up, everyone? This is Maximilian, and you're watching episode 11 of Street Fighter X Tekken, the Online Warrior. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Street Fighter X Tekken, the Online Warrior. In the background, you're going to see a bunch of ranked games, and we're actually going to discuss the latest events and happenings of Street Fighter X Tekken, some of the community perspective, and what's going to be going on in the future. As we were discussing with the previous episode, it looks like Street Fighter X Tekken is on a quick path to leaving the fighting game community because everybody has pretty much stopped playing this game. Even at recent community tournaments that are held by the FGC, things like Wednesday Night Fights and Big 2 and other stuff like that, bigger tournaments, the support as far as competition-wise for players has been fairly lacking. But whenever I go online, I actually find a lot of competition, so there seems to be this huge gap of the real-life competitive side of Street Fighter X Tekken compared to the online aspect, and as far as how many players are playing on each end. But as we were discussing in the previous episode, let's go on with some of those details that were recently dropped. As I was saying last time, May 19th was going to be the date that the new producer for the game was going to release some new info about the later balance patches and the big changes to the game after the first balance patch came out. But as you guys all know, and I did a video on it, the first balance patch that came out for this game actually introduced a game-breaking glitch, and it's really shocking that this can happen with the game that already has a bunch of glitches present. So we got the one that removed all the infinites and stuff like that, but now Rolento's, any of Rolento's jumping attacks that release knives will collide with other fireballs and certain moves, and will actually, when they hit each other, will freeze the game completely. So it's a really bad glitch. A lot of tournaments have even considered banning Rolento completely, but a lot of other tournaments end up going to the route of the previous version, like they do not update the console to the latest version of the game because of it. So I'm not too sure what's going to be happening at EVO as a result of this, but it's pretty shocking that made it into the game, and they have to compensate for this with all the other tournaments and happenings that are going on in the competitive scene, and that's why it's really dying out. The other information that recently dropped was that they've been approached a lot about future characters, the Rolento bug, and the fact that they have new stuff coming up at E3. So let's quickly talk about that the next patch for Street Fighter X Tekken and the Rolento freeze bug is not actually coming till mid-June, so that's after E3, but they did mention that more balance updates are on the way. So when it comes to a game like this, to get something patched out, it's actually a really expensive process, and it takes a lot of time. So it's really surprising that something like this made it into the game, because it just ends up costing the company money to put it out. But we're not going to see a patch till mid-June, and that kind of sucks. But for the games I've played as of late in Street Fighter X Tekken, mind you, it's been a little bit of time since I played this game because the excitement has kind of died down. I have not seen anybody using Rolento, so it looks like folks are just trying to avoid the glitch completely. Now, moving on to the next bit of information, and that's the plans at E3. So Capcom is saying they have big plans for E3, and they're talking about the future of Street Fighter X Tekken. I would not be surprised that the new producer, Ayano-san, was saying that he's going to make an announcement and an appearance at E3, and that'll most likely be coinciding with Street Fighter X Tekken. So what this could mean, we don't know yet, but it most likely, I doubt they'll have a playable build of like their new version of the game, but they most likely are going to have a big announcement of the future plans for later on in SFxT. So I really hope there's a plan for an overall system change, like revamped system balance, character balance. I think everybody kind of wants a new game, and they have the power to do that. They just have to take some of the aspects of all the system mechanics in Street Fighter X Tekken and rebalance them. Balance them differently, give people different opportunities to do different things with their meter, and make things more valuable, like Pandora and stuff like that. If you made Pandora a little bit better, things could change a lot, and the gem usage is another big thing. So I'm really looking forward to what their announcement is going to be at E3, because I think that could be a big thing for the game that will be good, because I want to keep playing this game. It's just very difficult with the extreme lack of hype and support that it's getting. Sometimes I enjoy it, minus those moments where a dude is running like an auto-block gem. But they also announced the latest amount of DLC, and amongst this DLC is going to be a new 4-color palette, which is going to be free, thank God. They're going to release Gem Pack number 3, and this is free as well. I don't know what this is, but it's kind of disheartening that there's going to be more gem packs on the way, and this is boost gems, 2 boost gem packs, actually 4 boost gem packs, a World Warrior pack. I'm not too sure what that one is. And then they also have the King of the Iron Fist pack. Actually, this might be, this potentially could be costumes. I'm actually not too sure, but they're releasing the entire collection of costumes from the first one as well. So that'll be about $18, and these cross art packs and Lightning Leg and Iron Curtain packs are going to be about $1 each. So these are going to be coming on June 4th, right before E3. I think that might be right before or right as E3 happens. So we'll see if there's any other plans for big fighting games besides Street Fighter Cross Tekken and the Vita version that'll be happening at E3. Aside from that, there was a recent announcement, not really announcement, but just kind of more words about the future of the DLC characters. And I think Christian Svensson was asked if they would be looking into other characters beyond the 12 DLC fighters, and that they can't make a call right now because they're really depending on how well the game is going to sell with the 12 characters. So I would highly imagine that based off the entire DLC fiasco of what happened before, that those characters aren't going to sell very well. They look really appealing, and for myself, I'm going to buy them just because I want to use a couple of those select characters no matter what. But the idea of having the DLC characters on there was the fact that everyone can unify and play online, whether or not you buy the DLC or not, so that's good. You're not forced to buy it to play against other people. However, I think that'll really affect the sales of the game. Like, even if it's already on the disc, it kind of is a big incentive for people to go out and buy the DLC if you're playing the game and then all of a sudden no one else is playing it. Like, no one plays Street Fighter 4 online anymore. Everyone upgraded to Super Street Fighter 4 because it had a bunch of new characters and was new gameplay balance. That's essentially what's going to be happening to Street Fighter Cross Tekken, so I kind of don't really see the overall plan for the game by already including them on the disc, because if you're a guy who doesn't have any interest in playing those characters but you just want to stay in the competition, you don't have to do anything. Sure, that's good for the consumer, but if you did want to do something, that would kind of force you to buy a new game, you know what I mean? It's a weird perspective as far as how they're going to handle characters in fighting games from now on, but I definitely guarantee you that future fighting games, from Capcom or not, ain't gonna have characters on the disc anymore, dude. That was a really big crushing blow right at the beginning release of Street Fighter Cross Tekken, which eventually is leading it to its competitive demise. Ono was actually recently asked about his influence on Street Fighter Cross Tekken and if he's going to be returning as a producer, and he responded that he's not going to be coming back for a while, so I guess he's doing other stuff with Capcom, like completely other stuff. And then there was that Street Fighter 25th anniversary thing, which is a big box of Street Fighter related stuff that I already have almost all of it. Like, it's games, it's like soundtracks, it's art books. I think the only thing I'm lacking is like a Street Fighter statue. Looks really cool, but at the same time, it's really for those collectors, and I hear it's only coming out in the US as well, so that's kind of shocking. So we'll see what that ends up looking like once it eventually hits the States. But yeah, man, Street Fighter Cross Tekken is in this interesting state now where the online is kind of really suffering. There's a lot of people still playing from what I can tell, but it just looks like that the overall competitive nature of the game is really waning in the perspective of players. But let's get into this and commentate the remainder of these online ranked games. So Ken and Jin are squaring off, Jin using that stance cancel into that thing that's got a ton of invulnerability. Get him on an uppercut, Ogre comes in for his target combo but misses the Skyfall, and now Jin is back on the offensive using those crouching jabs that are so good and plus on block. You see what happened right there? Ryu actually crossed under in the corner, and that's one thing you got to be really good with Jin, is that realizing if you're in the corner and you go into his cross rush, you actually will have the other character bounce in. But Ryu using a couple of standing jabs, and wow, uppercut counter trade, and goes into that solar plexus strike, and Jin is back in, but so is Ken, and I do a wake up fireball. I don't even know what happened. I get anti-aired, and it is a total KO. Probably a big execution error right there. This is a pretty powerful team, so let's see what happens here. Jin and Ken once again scoring off at the start. Ken starting off with a little bit of fireball pressure. Jin doing the exact same thing and trade a couple of attacks. Another met in the middle. Jin goes for his invulnerable stance cancel. Gets thrown twice because of it. Will he go for it again? No, I don't know. Whoa. It looks like standing medium with Ken is not safe, and don't use that at all. Go for the anti-air, not the anti-air, the reversal uppercut. Ogre comes in, does the command grab, throws him across the screen. Pretty good damage. Now making the approach, and Jin once again lands a anti-air kick. And Ogre is quickly out with that Skyfall, but he's able to easily tag in with Ryu because his cross rush ends up doing 2 hits. Ryu's target combo or Ryu's chain combo ends up missing. and getting crossed up a lot, and it's really difficult for Ogre to deal with things like cross-ups, but he gets a counter hit in the air, bring in Ken, and Ken attacked a little too late or too early. But once again, Jin gets his crazy invulnerable stance cancel, and now Ryu is on the approach, went for the overhead, probably would have tagged in Jin there, and if I tag in Ken one more time, get some pretty decent damage. I think what I'm looking to do here is build a bunch of meter, but reversal uppercut, catches Ogre on the top, Ogre's back down, gets a cross-up, lands it. If this will come, nope. That's exactly what happens with Ogre so much of the time if you try to go into his target combo. Up forward medium kick into, I think it's heavy kick? Yeah, man, it could be lethal. But I end up getting Ryu because he threw a full screen fireball, and now Ogre is unable to finish him off, but with a chip damage right at the end, I think he could have easily uppercut through that. Ogre takes the game, so that was actually pretty close, especially with a character like Ogre who has such weird normals and commands that it's hard to understand what his block strings are, and that's what I'm still trying to learn with this character since I'm still relatively new with Ogre. I've got less than probably like, 50 games with the character in total. Once again, Ken and Ryu squaring off against each other. Ryu gets a cross-up hurricane kick. You're going to be hearing that a lot in Street Fighter Cross Tekken. Ken gets a jab uppercut, which leads into another uppercut, and then whiff punish one of his, I think he tried to sweep in there, and Ogre comes in. Command throws him to the other side, land a medium punch, don't know what happened there. Ogre taking advantage of that crazy crouching medium kick that he has. It's got really good range, but it just comes out super slow. Chun-Li comes in, and I don't go for the really good damaging combo, and I actually miss the target combo, so more executional errors while playing online. It's just going to happen. Chun-Li just blocking back, waiting for my attack. I go with it anyway, but somehow get a grab. Now she's in the corner. Will she go for EX spinning bird legs? No, she doesn't. And I stance cancel, or I'm sorry, I supercharge cancel his standing medium because that thing has a ton of plus frames on block. Wow, that was definitely another executional error, and Chun-Li is going to be able to tag in Ryu for a cross rush with barely any life. Now, Ogre on the offensive with that freaking gigantic splash attack. I don't know if there's much else I'll be able to do here, but yeah, now I don't know if we're going to have an issue here because Ogre is missing a little bit of life, but Ryu is missing even less life, goes in for the donkey kick, which is totally safe. He does it again and hits Ogre. I got to be careful here because now all of a sudden things are changing, and wow, just like that, the character's health was taken down so fast because of a couple of bad mistakes, and well-placed donkey kicks pretty much is what won that round. Shoto square off at the start. Ryu jump in hurricane kick. The legend of Street Fighter Cross Tekken. Ken doing the exact same thing, gets the same approach, and yeah, man, it's gonna be weird if Street Fighter Cross Tekken is balanced to the point of which the hurricane stuff is gonna be gone. That'll change the game a lot. Ogre lands the command grab, does some pretty good damage. Ryu down to about 40% health. But using those extremely effective donkey kicks, straight up neutral anti-air heavy kick, and now they're squaring off. Ogre lands his force field, and Ken gets a solid sweep, but Ryu is in the air, and that is a safe tagging moment to get in Chun-Li. Probably the worst idea I could have done there was throw the fireball, because that just is an easy, very inexpensive, damaging way to get in a character. Ken gets the medium-heavy sweep on the ground. Chun-Li goes for spinning bird legs. Should have gone into the standing target combo there, but it didn't work, or chain combo. But anti-air uppercut will definitely do it, and this should do pretty good damage. I don't know if this is going to kill Chun-Li. The problem with Ogre's super is that it does so many hits that they scale really hard, and they don't do much damage in the end. But Chun-Li is able to get a crouching medium into standing heavy, and Ryu comes in to square things off with a donkey kick, and he has his gem activated. He's now got super defense, and I'm recovering health with Ogre, and that was probably a not wise tag. We got a problem here. We got an immediate problem here. Chun-Li is in, and she's got some devious mix-ups, but Ken gets the roll reversal uppercut. Ogre comes in with the target combo and takes the round, so I think that was actually a lucky one on my part. If you have the meter, man, get in the other character, because Ken's reversal uppercut is really good for that. Once again, starting off with some Hurricane Kick madness at the beginning of a match. You'll be seeing a lot of it. Ken spaces his attacks just in time to sweep Ryu, and Ogre misses his combo hard. Story of my life, man. Story of my life. Kick him straight into the air, go back into a combo. I don't think that sequence is safe. You probably could uppercut after, but the spacing is really dependent. Standing medium kick anti-air, and Ryu is going for a crazy long-distance chain combo. Once again, they're squaring off. Ogre does not get the full, and this should probably kill Ryu. No, I don't know why I went into the kick. I should have gone into the regular. And that is not how you punish a tag-in character. Definitely not. This will do some pretty decent damage on Chun-Li, but I missed the follow-up in the end. the challenges of using a new character online. Tags in Ryu. Ryu is back in once again, but he's got very little health, but he's able to get a couple of jabs that'll lead into Chun-Li. This will hardly do any damage, though, because it started with so many jabs. But once again, Ogre goes for a force field reversal, and Ken comes in right afterwards, lands the KO, and takes the game. If you guys still enjoyed the Street Fighter Cross Tekken, please leave a comment below or a thumbs up, because I'm trying to gauge the overall community perspective of the people that are still playing the game online and such, how much you actually still enjoy Street Fighter Cross Tekken, if at all. But until then, thank you all very much for watching the video. This has been Max, and I'll see you next time.